Welcome to BeachinSurfTV. My name's Clint Harris and we're here to talk about boards, fins and everything else you use to get your froth on the surf. Today we're talking about the Rusty Traveller, and I will say this is the board I've been looking forward to talking about the most. It's the board you're going to want for your next birthday, Christmas, whenever you can get your hands on it. It's the board that you take overseas and you fulfill some sweet, sweet dreams of surfing perfect 10-foot offshore surf or 8-foot plus. It's a proper step-up board that's going to give you control, paddle power, and enable you to take on surf that we don't typically get to surf around here on East Coast Australia. So really been looking forward to this guy. It's such a sexy looking board out of the Rusty range, and perfect for heading to a lot of destinations around the world that many surfers like to head to. So let's have a look at what features are underneath the hood of this board. So this is a board that I've been planning on buying for myself for a long time. I got mine only a few weeks ago from Ado at the Rusty factory, and I'm absolutely stoked with it. I got to take it out at one of our local reef breaks here recently. It was over 6 foot, so it was big enough surf for me to test it out and see how it went. I was out there with quite a few good surfers, and usually I'm not competitive with those guys. There was all the our local favorites out there, and I found myself just getting tons of waves. I was surfing them easy, I was getting into waves easy, and it generally was still a loose enough board to really enjoy and have fun on. It's a board that can do two things for you, the Rusty Traveller. It can be something that's going to make you much more competitive, and let's say that's 6 to 8 foot surf if you don't get to surf it a lot. Or it can be something that on the upper end of town, if you're traveling over and trying to take on 12-foot surf in somewhere like Indo or Fiji, then this is also a really good option for that more advanced surfer to be able to take on bigger conditions. But I don't think it should be just pigeonholed for the expert surfer going for massive surf. This board's going to allow guys that don't get to surf 6 foot plus confidently and competently. It's going to really enable you to jump into some situations where you might not have had a lot of experience in bigger surf. So the first feature I really wanted to look at, it's classic of all these boards, and that's the pintail. You've got quite a deliberate pulled in pintail on this board. It's something that is so important for step up boards. It's giving you the absolute maximum amount of control, least amount of area in a tail out of all the different tails that are available in market, and it's really allowing you to create as strong a line as possible getting into your wave and controlling the wave. The other thing with that tail is there's a fair bit of tail lift there, and we've seen tail lift on a lot of things in previous surfboard reviews on like high performance models, on some shorter fat shortboard models. This is where it really counts. Having that tail lift there is just giving you so much more control, especially off the bottom of the wave, and it's really going to be so important when you're pulling in some bigger surf where you need something like this for more demanding conditions. The next thing that I'll have a quick sticky beak at here is that we've got a very continuous rocker. Now you see similar rockers on some high performance models, but on a step up or semi gun like this board is, I'd call this a semi gun, not quite a Hawaiian gun or something that you're going to get in 7.6. You're still riding this in probably about 6'10", so anything over 15 foot guys are buying different boards, not this particular kind of board. So the continuous rocker is very evident right through. Plenty of entry rocker. I've already touched on the tail lift, and that's just giving you the maximum amount of control. You see them in high performance models because guys that are surfing the high performance models want that control in the 3 to 8 foot conditions. This board keeps that. It's important and good to see. The next thing after that we really should see in a board that represents this market or category of step-ups is the rails. You've got rails that are very, very pulled in. So what that means is that the actual thickness of the rail here is going to be the lowest out of all the boards that we've reviewed so far, because you're really wanting something that you can get maximum hold in on the solid conditions. When you're catching waves with a board like this in bigger conditions, you've got so much more speed. So you need something that you're going to be able to bury that rail in, hold a line, and keep your drive. Whereas if you had too much volume and too much flat through the actual deck, you're just not going to be able to get the board on rail, and it's going to fight you, and you're going to end up going straight. So refined rails like that are so important on a gun like this, and that's why you know, people go for this board when they need something a bit more reliant and reliable. So the third feature that I will jump in on, and that isn't consistent necessarily with all semi guns, but I do see it on this Rusty and I love it for it, is it's got a little bit more chest paddle here, a little bit more foam under the chest, so you're going to get into those waves a bit earlier. There's nothing wrong with getting into a wave a bit earlier, especially when it's 8 foot. Like, you want to be set up early, you want to get in there easy, you don't want late takeoffs on those kind of waves, so having a bit of extra paddle power is going to come in handy. Last thing on the list, just point out, is that you've got a single to double concave, and it's a pretty traditional concave that you see on a lot of these boards. It's super reliable. It's got a slight bump in the tail there, not too much though, and it's going to be overall a really reliable concave setup. You've got a fair good edge running up the board, pretty important, especially when you're trying to get bite and hold in higher parts of the wave. And that general bottom of the board is well thought out, and something I quite like. So overall, this is an awesome looking semi gun. It's a great board choice if you're going to be charging overseas. This is a board I've picked off for myself. I'm going to be heading to Panama, Costa Rica and Peru and a few places with this guy. I can't wait to test it out overseas. This board is built for traveling, as they allude to with the name. Come in store, check them out. We've got a full run of these guys, and hope you can be going on a trip soon too. See ya.